Well, I just found out this camera is good. It's a nighttime LED camera. It was a high quality camera back when I bought it years ago, and you could see. Well, I don't know if you could tell or not. Yeah, you could tell. The LEDs are lit. Now, the first thing I checked with this camera was the power supply, and the power supply was putting out like 15.8 volts. Which I thought was a little unusual because I thought, well, maybe that's a little high. Maybe it just burned out the camera because I thought maybe most cameras are like, well, some cameras are 15 volts. And I didn't know what this camera was supposed to be at so many years ago. So anyway, so I purchased this other camera, and I knew it. This camera, same kind of deal. It's got, an infrared, which I don't have it on right now. It's got even more infrared dots on it, and it takes a 12 volt power supply. So here I am. I'm changing out the power supply. I'm getting ready to mount this one. I says, let me just plug in this camera for the hell of it with the 12 volts, and it comes on. So this is going to be another lesson because first, one of the first things that usually breaks on a camera is the power supply, and usually the power supply puts out nothing. So I'm checking it with the voltmeter. It's putting out about 15.8 volts, like I said, and I'm figuring, well, if that's wrong, I'll probably burn the camera out anyway. So I didn't think to check it with the 12 volts, and I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know what the hell this camera was supposed to be. Obviously, it's supposed to be 12 volts, and it didn't break anything in the camera at all because you'll see what I'm talking about because you can see everything out of it right now. So that's going to be a fourth camera I'm going to have to set up with infrared in another area, and I'll just put the old one back up. I guess it does pay to get some quality stuff because back then this camera was, and my other low light camera was, there were some pretty big bucks back then. I don't know how good they are today, but today you can buy shit a lot cheaper. So, Mr. Putin, are you gonna freaking keep scratching to come in here outside because you jumped through the freaking window? Get out! I'm gonna have to take you outside later. So that's my color camera. You can see that's the bed of my El Camino on this monitor, and it comes out nice and clear. I mean, you're looking at a picture of a monitor, right? So, but it's clear, and I know with those LEDs. The infrared, it picks up everything at night very well. So it works fine. The voltage is just a few volts off, and that was the problem. So we're going to have another camera after this. We're going to be setting that up somewhere else. So word to the wise, it's the first thing you should check. Not only, there's actually you can get them in like Wally World. There's adjustable voltage power supplies, which I like. You can put them from I think 3 to 15 volts, from anywhere from like you put 3, 4.5, 5, 6, 7.5, 12, and 15, and it'd be good to keep one of those around because maybe that's really the problem with most of these cameras that break. It's like the voltage. It was I think it started out at 12. And usually a volt, the power supply, either it goes low or it goes to zero. Like it doesn't usually go higher, just slightly higher, and that's exactly what this power supply did. It went from 12 to almost 16 volts. It didn't damage the camera. The camera works freaking fine. It just stopped. It just wouldn't work with the higher voltage. So. That's something else to check for. That's kind of surprised me, so I figure I'm going to post this.